Hi traders, you're listening to Mike Hamilton, and for my weekly review I'm starting off with a Nikkei because what we've got here is a nice move off of the bottom of the fib zone. So the major fib zone is here. We topped out here, dropped into one of the middle areas of the fib zone, came into the top of the fib zone, and then came out, tested the bottom of the fib zone. The fact we've had a new low and a close above the next day, because we just nicked a new low on Thursday, closed above on Friday, this is a reversal signal. Forget all the doom and gloom out there, forget what you hear in the news, this is a reversal signal. So at the very least I would expect a move into this 50% and these moving averages here into this part of the fib zone at the very least. There's the full fib zone. So I expect to move into 15,350 on that one. We're very quiet on the US data front. We've got Chinese GDP on Tuesday. That is going to be significant. So what we wake up to on Tuesday could have a major factor on the rest of the week, because the rest of the week is pretty quiet, with the exception of UK voting on rates on Wednesday, and that's pretty much it. There's not a lot else in the back end of the week. We've got UK preliminary GDP on Friday, which they're expecting to be slightly weaker than the previous one. So overall, I think we're going to see a continuation of this bounce. So here's the Dow. This is the fibs on the 2014 range. There's the high, there's the low. Here's the main fib zone. Okay, down to narrowly missed touching the bottom of the fib zone. Here we are above the 50%. So you've got a hammer-like bar on Thursday, a push up on Friday, and here we are looking at, we're above the 50%, and here we are looking at tests of a bounce into this area here. So what happens here is going to be critical. If we just get up to 16,800 and roll, we could then start testing these lower levels. What do I think is going to happen? Well, I think we are going to see a continuation of the bounce, short term, and then I will take a look at how we handle this figure when we get there. Right, Forex, a very quick look at the pound, and all we've done is gone in and tested the 21 EMA with something of a hangman bar, so I would expect that not to hold. I expect to start dripping lower and then come down and test 157, but Monday's close is going to be crucial. If we close above that area on Monday, I would expect 162, potentially 165. We start breaking 160 and I would expect to see 157. Pound yen, that's much more bullish. Come down to test the bottom of the range. So we've had one little excursion under this range in February and one little excursion in September. Otherwise we've been range bound. This has been the range for 2014. So 175 and 170. At the moment we are 172. So I'm guessing you're going to realise what I'm about to say next. We could see a test of 175 this week, at which point, if the data doesn't hold up, this could fall out the bottom of the box, and I would expect a 500-point move whichever way we come out of that, because when you get a box like that, the breakout tends to be the distance to the box. What do I think is going to happen? I think we'll see a continuation into 173, potentially 175, and then if the data does not stack up, then I expect that to fall out. in a box, it's not uncommon. If it is a bearish box, it's not uncommon to get back into the middle of the box before rolling over. So on Monday's close, I'll be looking to see if we can close around this area. And if we hold it on Tuesday, then I expect it to further move to the upside. If we fail on there on Tuesday, then I would expect to see that coming down to 165 and potentially a lot lower. But short term, I'm bullish, and that is close above the 200. So a pullback to 171.25 is a buy at the moment. Euro, that looks as if that's had enough, and two lower closes. That looks as if a pullback to 128 could see us retest the lows at 125. Euro yen, just above that. Let me see where we are. Just above the February lows. It closed above the February lows just, but that's weak. Aussie US, weak. So the strength of the dollar to me suggests the markets could just do a little bit more of a bounce before reverting back to this new downtrend. Why do I call it a new downtrend? Because that's a lot of heavy selling. Sorry, this is back to the down. That's a lot of red in that chart. And here we saw red, saw a nice blue bar, and immediately we sold off. So again, we start closing underneath the 50%, and that could spell problems. In the meantime, that I'm short-term bullish. Let's just look at the weekly on this, because I have spent a lot of time studying the weekly. So there's the channel. We came down to test the bottom of the channel, and we held it. We are just holding the weekly 50 EMA. Just. Okay, it's 168, which I've talked about before, is a likely area to see a test of before we fall over. Okay, so look at the pound and Aussie, and then we'll go. That looks dodgy. Top of the fib zone, very, very neatly top of the fib zone. We're above all the moving averages, but that's struggling. So a close under 182.25, and I expect that to drop out of that and start to fall back to 167. All right. There's no Traders Roundtable on Monday. I will revert to Traders Roundtable on Tuesday and let you know what we're going to talk about then. All right. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and look forward to seeing you once more.